One of the fastest growing companies in the stock market right now is Reddit, ticker symbol RDDT. In the company's most recent earnings announcement back on May 1st, they announced revenue growth of 61% year over year. And this could just be the start of some very exciting growth for this company. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some recent news that could accelerate this company's growth. We're also going to dive into Reddit's most recent earnings and go over some of the projections that they provided, as well as what analysts are expecting over the coming years. If you aren't familiar with Reddit, it is most comparable to a blog. Users can go on and create their own forums or subreddits based off different topics that they want to discuss. And then they can post links, they can post images, as well as videos within those subreddits. And then they can vote up and vote down other members' posts. And this company actually IPO'd back on March 21st of 2024. The stock actually traded relatively sideways over the first few months and then saw a spike up to around $225 in February of 2025. However, with everything going on in the economy, the stock did end up falling down 61% to a price of around $86 per share. However, from that point over the last couple of months, we have seen a very nice rebound of 62% to the current stock price of around $140 per share. And this is a company that hasn't stopped innovating. They actually recently announced that there are some new technologies that they have integrated into their platform utilizing AI to allow their advertisers to better target their consumers. The company said that the tools are powered by an engine called Reddit Community Intelligence, which turns posts and comments into structured intelligence. And with this engine, they launched two new tools, the first being called Reddit Insights, which is a listening tool which shares real-time insights with marketers to help them identify trends and launch campaigns. In my opinion, this sounds very similar to Google Trends. What I think Reddit is doing here is they're looking at their website and looking at all the different posts across different forums. And what they are looking for is different keywords that pop up and the frequency of those keywords. And then what they can do is they can let advertisers see what things are trending on their platform and try to target different audiences based on those trends. And the second tool that Reddit rolled out is called Conversation Summary Add-ons. It allows brands to show positive user content under their ads. And this, I think, is also a very interesting add-on. It sounds very comparable to if you go on Amazon and look at a certain product, you can scroll to the bottom and you can see reviews. Basically, these conversation add-ons allow customers to look at ads and then see immediate feedback from other Reddit users on these types of products and services. And honestly, both of these add-ons are going to be great for advertisers, which at the end of the day is going to have a huge impact on Reddit's top and bottom line numbers. If you think about what these tools are actually going to do, it is going to make the platform even more user-friendly for advertisers to get their targeted campaigns out there and in front of the right audiences. And what is probably the most interesting thing about Reddit is they are a company that is not only solely focused on the user experience, they are also legitimately focused on being a business. And this shows through in their earnings reports. We can see that their daily active uniques, which is basically a way that Reddit tracks how many unique visits there are to a certain subreddit, they increased by 31% year over year to 108.1 million. This is again a great metric to see how many people are actually using the platform and how much time those users are actually spending going into different subreddits. So this is a very important metric, and 31% growth is very impressive. And then on top of that, they are able to grow their top line by 61% year over year to $392.4 million. And on top of that, Reddit has a gross margin of 90.5%. they are now hitting profitability. Their diluted EPS came in at 13 cents versus analyst expectations of around 1 cent of EPS. And this has been a massive flip to profitability. Their net income in 2024 for the same quarter was negative $575.1 million. In this most recent quarter, it came in at a positive $26.2 million. And in my opinion, this could just be the start for Reddit. Because if you look at the other social media platforms that have had the most success in terms of monetizing their audience, you have to think of Meta with Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube or Google, and how they have monetized their actual audiences. What they have done is they have done a great job of building their platforms for advertisers, but they also have platforms that are built for more long-term content. And that long-term content is better at capturing eyeballs. The reason I have Snapchat's ticker symbol pulled up here and their chart is because Snapchat is just the opposite. They are a platform that people go on and use for very short durations of time. They don't capture a lot of attention. However, when people go onto Reddit, they are reading through comments, they are looking at videos, they are reading blog posts basically. And that provides a solid base for advertisers to actually capture audiences' attention. And the longer a platform can capture someone's attention, the more valuable that attention is to advertisers. And what I also like about Reddit is they are still run by one of their founders. Their CEO is Steve Huffman. He is around 41 years old, and he is one of the founders of the company. What I don't love about Reddit is their valuation. Currently, their forward P ratio is sitting at a 113.64. However, with how quickly they're expected to grow their earnings, this valuation could fall down at a very fast pace. And what I mean by that is if you look at their 2025 numbers, yes, analysts are only expecting them to put up $1.24 of EPS. However, if you go back a year ago, they put up negative $3.33. So this is a massive increase in EPS over the course of the last year. And if you look at 2026 numbers, analysts are expecting them to put up $2.28. So almost a double up from this year. And based off this $2.28, the stock is actually trading closer to a 60 forward PE ratio. And as long as the company performs well on the top line, they should see massive increases in their bottom line as well. What we can see is analysts right now are projecting 42% growth for their top line numbers in 2025, and then only 28% growth in 2026. I actually think this 28% growth could be low. I would not be surprised at all if they grow between 30 and 35% in 2026. And even in the next quarter, the company provided guidance of $410 to $430 million for revenue. That would be around a 50% increase year over year, based off analyst expectations of around $424 million in the quarter. So I don't think I'm a buyer quite yet of Reddit. However, it is definitely a company that I am going to be keeping an eye on. This is the YouTube portfolio, and it is currently sitting at a value of $65,651.88. And within this portfolio, I hold shares of Google, Supermicrocomputer, AMD, Microsoft, Adobe, SoFi, PayPal, Alibaba, Abercrombie & Finch, United Health, Palantir, United States Lime and Mineral, Estee Lauder, Apple, and Hawkins. The only two positions that are in the red for us are United Health Group and United States Lime and Mineral. These are two fairly recent adds to the portfolio. I could easily see myself buying more of both of these companies. I think over the long run, they both have a very bright future. I think United States Lime and Mineral is a little bit more risky. I'm a little less worried about United Health Group. I think that they will rebound nicely as they start adjusting some of their premiums up and start getting back to top line and bottom line growth. So let me know in the comments section your thoughts on Reddit. I'm very interested interested if there is anything that I am missing with this company. It seems like a very exciting company over the next 5 to 10 years with the growth potential that they have, especially in the advertising space. So let me know down below, is this a company that you hold in your portfolio, or is it one that is on your watch list? Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, never buy a stock just because some random guy on YouTube talked about it. Make sure you are doing your own research and looking into companies that meet your risk tolerance as well as your time horizon. With all of that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like down below and subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, have a wonderful rest of your day.